Good evening, my Plentyi family. We are here again, 9:30 on time today with Ask Anything Parking with Andrea, me. So today's topic is free parking really free? Waiting to see what you have to say. Okay, so let me paint a picture. You're heading to an event in Brooklyn, maybe Barclays Center, maybe Brooklyn Bowl. Shout out to Brooklyn Bowl. Maybe a concert, maybe dinner with friends. You leave early because you want to find free street parking. You get close to your destination, and then the search begins. You circle the block, you circle another block, then another, then another. Finally, you find a spot, but it's about 10-minute walk. It's a 10-minute walk away. So now you're staring at the parking signs, trying to decode it. No parking this the signs. You have like three different signs, right? You can have three different signs. No parking this day, no standing that day, street cleaning on that day, commercial vehicles only during certain hours, loading zones only this particular time. Now you're wondering, did I park legally? And you take a chance. I think we all have done that. And now you're rushing to your event. So here's the question: was that parking really free? Because in New York City, or a city like New York, nothing is free. I'm just playing. But being serious, because in cities like New York, free parking always come with hidden cost. So let's talk about the numbers. New York City has about 3 million parking spaces. But here's the surprising part: only about 80,000 of those spaces have parking meters. That means roughly 97% of curb parking in New York City is still free. Think about that. And one of the busiest cities in the world, and the best city in the world, I might say, most street parking is still free. But when something valuable is free, something predictable happens. Everyone wants it. Now, I don't know about that. It just depends on what is free, right? Because everything that's free ain't good. And that's when the competition starts. And if you ever owned a car in New York, you already know the next challenge: alternate side parking. That's where we get ticketed the most. Street cleaning days, which is the same as alternate side parking, right? You have to alternate. We have to alternate our side parking because of street cleaning days, right? So you set your alarms and you oversleep sometimes, or you wake up early and you sit in your car waiting for the street sweeper to pass so you don't get a ticket. Halfway sleep, still got your pajamas on, your UGG boots because it's winter time. Anyway, sometimes people double park and wait. That's me. Sometimes people move their cars back and forth. So you move your car on the side the next day so you don't have to worry about moving your car. You move your car on the side, or you stay on the side that alternate side parking is on for that day so you don't have to move your car the next day. People in New York know what I'm talking about. So sometimes you think you read the sign, or sometimes you think you read the sign correctly, and you still come back to a ticket on your windshield, or your car is gone because you're in the no standard zone. Okay? So even though the parking itself might be free, the system around it can cost drivers time, stress, and sometimes money. And that's why the idea of free parking in New York City is actually more complicated than it sounds. When parking is free, drivers compete for the same space. We do, right? So instead of paying for parking, people often pays in other ways. So transportation research shows that drivers spend around 17 hours average a year searching for parking. In dense cities like New York, it can be even higher. And I know it's higher. I know it's higher because I spend about 3 hours a week, 3 hours, 1 hour per day, 3 hours a week looking for parking. And if you calculate that, that's 3 times 4, that's 12 hours in 1 month. And you calculate 12 times 12, that's about 240 hours a year, roughly saying that, because I still have issues with finding parking in my neighborhood. Crazy, but it's true. So, what does that mean? People are circling the blocks, burning gas, creating traffic, arriving late to their destination. Sometimes the cost of finding free parking is actually more expensive than paying for a garage. And believe it or not, even in my neighborhood, sometimes it's hard to find parking in the garage. Like, there's a garage right around the corner from where I live at, and there's no parking there. They're full. I'm like, oh my goodness. So anyway, but psychologically, let's get back to I can kind of go on this. I can start ranting and raving about this. This is my life. But let's say, but psychologically, drivers still feel like they are saving money. So let's compare two drivers, okay? Driver A searches for free street parking. They circle the neighborhood for 20 minutes. Driver B goes straight into a parking garage. They park immediately and walk 5 minutes. Driver A saved money but lost time, right? But driver B saved money, driver B paid money but saved time. So the real question becomes, what is your time worth? And that is why parking is such a big conversation in cities. Is your time worth, do you feel like your time is valuable so you're willing to pay for not looking for parking? I know I am. Sometimes sometimes I feel like yes, because I'm in a rush and I have to get somewhere. And sometimes then I'll look for parking, but preferably I do enjoy being able to pull up into a space without circling for parking. So let's go back to it. And that is why parking is such a big conversation in cities because curb parking, aka street parking, isn't unlimited. It's not unlimited. It's a limited resource that millions of people compete for every day. But we also have to look at the other side of this conversation. Living in New York City is already expensive. New York City is not for the weak. I tell you that much. Okay, and owning a car in New York is expensive too, or any other major cities like New York City, right? Is expensive. So think about everything that we as drivers have to pay for: car payments, insurance, gas, tolls, maintenance, parking tickets. I mean, you might as well add the parking tickets into your budget because if you're living in New York and you don't get a parking ticket, you are blessed or you got some good skills, okay? Or congestion pricing if you're going into the city. So car insurance alone in New York can easily cost us thousands of dollars a year. Lord, thousands of dollars a year, depending on the vehicle and the driver. So when policymakers talk about charging for curb parking, many drivers start asking another question. Not just will this reduce congestion, because that is the reason for it, but also is this another cost being added to people who already pay a lot just to own a car in New York City? Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's just charging another, right? And that's an important question because policies that sound good in theory also have to work for the people who actually live here. Some policy makers argue that charging small fees for curb parking help reduce congestion, and make parking easier to find. Hush! This dog, I tell you, I'm going live. The ideal is that when parking has a price, spaces turn over faster. The dog doesn't even like this idea. He doesn't even agree with it. You hear him barking, right? Hey! Sorry about that. And people may spend less time circling. I kind of lost my thing. Let me go back. So the idea is that when curb parking has a price, spaces turn over faster, right? Because drivers are less likely to leave their cars parked for long periods. And people may spend less time circling blocks searching for free spots. But critics say charging for curb parking could also increase the cost of living and make city life even more expensive. So there is no simple answer. But here's the interesting part. New York City has about 3 million curb parking spaces, and most of them are free. Well, we're not talking it's free, but we still got to do alternate side parking, no standing, you know, those things, the parking rules we have to deal with. Yet, drivers still spend lots of time searching for parking. So maybe the real question isn't just is parking free, but maybe the real question is what is that free parking actually costing us? Time, traffic, fuel, and frustration? So, I have a question. Well, yeah, I have a question. Would you rather have A, free parking that's hard to find, or B, pay parking that's easier to access? Let me know in the comments. And this is Ask Andrea, no, Ask Anything Parking with Andrea. And if you have any ideas or anything you would like us to talk about when it comes to parking, please drop it in the comments and also subscribe to us. Hit that little bell button, you know that little bell, and hit subscribe so you can get updates on what we're talking about if you're interested in what we're speaking about. And also like this, like it. It's like literally 2 seconds. Just hit that like button. That's all you got to do, right? And share. Please share it with someone who might be interested in something like this. So again, thank you for joining us at Ask Anything Parking with Andrea. Have a blessed evening and be safe.